Welcome to the carnage.
And welcome back to the channel. I'm Mr. Carnage, and we're going to go ahead and get right into another part of this Roblox mess, nightmare, if you will. This was a really well written article, kind of going over some of the ins and outs of the lawsuit that is starting in Louisiana. And then there is word that a few other states are going to follow suit. I guess they have somewhere in the vicinity of 800 to 1,000 claims from children and parents that have come forward with some of their own claims about what's happened on Roblox. So it's it seems to be getting bigger and bigger by the day. But we're not going to go and read through this entire article. It's actually a really long article, but it does give you a good, broad idea of some of the things that is going on, some of the allegations, some of what Roblox is, claimed, and then obviously what some of the parents and children have been saying about what's transpired on Roblox, what they've seen and experienced. Some are direct, stories and experiences. Some are secondhand. A friend went through this, or my brother went through this kind of thing. Um, there's also a Reddit post for some of these stories that I read through today, and uh, gone from about 12 stories 2 days ago to about 165 replies over the last 2 days. So lots of allegations there, definitely. So with this article, you can find it on Tech Story. Um, it's a really good article. It's just really, really long, and it goes through uh, pretty much everything, right? So Roblox launched originally in 2006, and over the years, it has had its share of some questionable things, right? So going back to uh, some of the codes that were given out on third party toys, where I guess one of them was something that kind of looked. It's basically it was supposed to be a like a balloon animal, but it kind of I guess looked like a dildo. So I didn't know that, and when I kind of read through that, that was it's like wow, how something like that could escape a dev's eyesight. I mean, I looked at the picture and I can see where parents thought, yeah, okay, it kind of looks like a dildo. Um, so from that to the girl back in 2017 that claimed that she was groomed and then stolen from her parents on a Roblox game that's actually been, I guess, wiped since. Um, it was supposed to be kind of like a creepy pasta type game, and the premise was to contact the people who made the game to get special rewards, and those rewards were obviously false and fake. And instead, it was a predator who created the game, and he used that to gain the girl's trust, and then he got all of her information, and they met up, and he basically kidnapped her, took her through multiple states, and did some pretty horrific things to her. So that was the first original lawsuit against Roblox, and that was back in, like I said, 2017. And that I couldn't find a lot more information on it. It seems like it was settled out of court, um, which for any parents out there, if you're doing a lawsuit like this, don't ever settle out of court because uh, it makes the rest of the public look like you just did this for a cash grab, right? Like you didn't care about your child's pain and what they went through. This was just all about the money, and so that's a really bad public perception. And I highly recommend that if you're going to sue for X amount of dollars to a company like Roblox, that you see it through. Um, yeah, you might not get as much as you would have had you settled out of court, but your principles and public perception would be much, much higher. So now the other um, big thing here was some of the games that were up until basically about 4 or 5 days ago, such as Escape to Epstein Island, Survive Diddy. There was Diddy Party 1, Diddy Party 2, uh, the public bathroom simulator, the wash yourself simulator, and those were just a couple of, I guess, the games. Now, Roblox has stated that they did a scrub a few days ago, and any games that were deemed inappropriate or had inappropriate titles or inappropriate content has been since scrubbed. However, there is some speculation because I can't say this is fact. I haven't logged into Roblox to look that on a few of the Reddit posts that there's still people saying that there's still some games that did not get scrubbed that is still there. So, um, with that being said, I'm not sure if anybody has came across any of these games in the last 48 or yeah 72 hours 48 72 hours since they said they did the scrub. um but if you have, definitely comment below. So the Louisiana State District Attorney is suing Roblox, and I looked to see if there were any other states or any other governments, countries, anything like that that were filing, and I did find some. So there are a few states. I didn't get the name of the states except for Texas. The Texas is the only other state that was named as possibly filing, claims against Roblox. Um, Country wise, there are a couple countries that have already banned Roblox, and this has been, you know, five, 5, 10 years ago already. So, as far as new countries, I didn't see anything in my research that would suggest that there's another country doing it anytime soon. But with this coming out now, I'm assuming you're going to see countries probably like, Australia, the UK, Sweden, so on and so forth, start filing some injunctions against Roblox, and then probably just flat out banning it in the country. So, what does this mean for Roblox? Well, there's at this point just too much damning information, and with too many people coming together, too many different lawsuits being filed, too many countries now banning Roblox, all this kind of coming together at once. It definitely doesn't look good for Roblox. Doesn't mean that it's going to, be the end of them. Doesn't mean that it's going to be the death of Roblox. But it definitely seems like, yeah, it's definitely going to hurt their pockets quite a bit. Now, kind of going down here towards the end here. One of the parts of this article that I definitely found just mind blowing was it says with an estimated 380 million monthly users in 2025, and more than half of them are aged between 9 and 16. That's a huge number. Now I'm assuming that's inflated. I don't think that's the real number or realistically the real number. Um, I do know that there's plenty of games out there that don't have like timeouts, so it's not going to kick you for inactivity like a normal MMO would, for example. So there may be a ton of constantly running game in the background, whether it's a console, a handheld, a phone, whatever. So I'm assuming that number is inflated, but it's still a huge number. Even if you were to cut that in half, that's a huge number. Um, but that just blew my mind that there's that many people playing, Roblox, and then with that huge, like it says here, wide pool of potential victims, um, kind of scares me in the sense that usually when this stuff gets out, it means it's a fire sale. So I assume that people who are doing this sort of thing, they're going to ramp up what they're doing, trying to get as many, kids as they possibly can before Roblox becomes, null and void or shuts its doors, since this seems to be an easy source for them to find victims, right? So that's that's a horrible thing, and if I, you know, didn't step in, I kind of wonder what happened with my son, but we've we've completely removed Roblox. This was a few weeks ago. Um, he's not allowed to play anymore. His initial reaction, of course, was he was upset, right? I mean, he's played Roblox for the last 4 or 5 years. A lot of his friends play, so he's really bummed. But as a parent, it sucks that you got to break your child's heart like that. But better safe than sorry. So any parents out there, if you're teetering on that, like you don't want to take it away from your kid because that's how they socialize, or it's their favorite thing to do. You got to do it for their safety. So step in and do what you got to do to protect your children. And so that brings me kind of the closing segment here is I looked everywhere online for, you know, these groups like Collective Shout and some of the online, you know, these groups that are supposed to be protecting children online. And I found that not a single one of them, not one, has came out in, you know, defense against the children that have filed claims against Roblox, the YouTubers that have said they quit. Um, I believe his name is Schleb. He's the one who kind of really started kick rolling this whole thing. He has had no communication from the videos that I watched of his, um, you know, outside of law enforcement, other Roblox YouTubers, the YouTube community as a whole. Not a single one of them have reached out to not only offer support, but to offer help in any way, right? So it kind of goes to show you really what these online groups are really about. It has nothing to do with keeping kids safe, especially with Collective Shout. What it mostly is for them is to try to take things away from men because they're man-hating feminists. That's all it is. They don't care about the online safety of anybody. And with most of their new, posts and everything lately, they're just playing the victim, right? So they're trying to get law enforcement involved to, track down these gamers who, called them bad names on the internet. Um, but not a single thing about Roblox, not a single thing about, we stand with the parents or we stand for justice here. Nothing, not a single damn thing from these people. So I really find it two-faced that this group says that they're, you know, trying to get rid of these games on Steam and itch.io and all this to protect children online and protect children from, smut and violence and sexual content and all this other stuff online. But yet, Roblox being the biggest thing in the news right now, especially in the gaming community, not a single damn word from them. Just goes to show you how, uh, fucked up they are, in my opinion. So, anybody from Collective Shout, if you're listening, you're scum. I mean, had you at least said something about Roblox, posted something, even if it was just a blurb on X or, social media in any way, shape, or form, I might have at least, I mean, I was still hated your guts, but at least I would have had a little iota of respect for you. But um, this just goes to show what your true agenda is. And I think we all can see what it is. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close out this video. Definitely, if you're a parent, um, don't, don't feel bad if you got to take Roblox away from your child because your child's safety is much more important than them playing a game. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next video. You take care.